Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at Venusaur Genesect. I recorded this yesterday, the sound didn't work, so hopefully everything's peachy. But this is a fun archetype, trying to use lots of bulky non-GXs against the likes of Zapdos to give them a hard time, make them have a lot of resources, make them find multiple Electro Powers and multiple Guzmas turn by turn. And we have some one-hit KO potential with the likes of Onix with type coverage, and that Shaymin Prism Star if everything's going to plan and we get our Venusaur and Naga online. Its own attack, Flower Storm, gets really powerful, so do bear that in mind. More on the fun side today, but definitely an interesting and powerful deck once you get your evolutions into play. So let's have a look at the cards and all those decisions within the deck. So starting off with 3 Shining Genesect, kind of our main attacker in here. Has that 130 hit points, which I've already mentioned, is annoying for Zapdos, similar to how Baby Buzzwole's creeping into decks, even being like a reasonable card against Zapdos when it gets the Sledgehammer turn off, and being, having that high hit points is awkward to get through, sometimes forcing Jolteons and Coco GXs into play, which is all very good for us because we do have that one-hit KO potential later down the line. Energy Reload is a powerful ability. Once during your turn, you may move a Grass Energy from one of your other Pokemon to this one. This has obvious synergy with Naganadel, most of all, so that we can charge up on the bench and then steal that energy onto our Genesect to start rolling into Gaia Blaster, which is his attack. Very similar to Keldio's attack from way back when. You do 50 plus 20 more for each Grass Energy attached to this Pokemon. And we have, like I said, Batons, Venusaur, and Charge Up plus Energy Reload. So lots of ways we can get this, from 110 onwards pretty much as the game progresses. So this starts off as just being a nice one-hit KO option against non-GXs, and maybe when Venusaur comes into play, it pushes into one-shotting the likes of Lele's, the likes of Coco GXs pretty easily as well. So definitely something to bear in mind. He can get some big up trades when we need him to. From there, playing a 3-2 line of Naga, I'm liking the 3 Poipole. I mean, we have a lot of good ball search anyway to try and find this guy early. But I feel like, especially Zapdos players, they're trying to take these easy knockouts on the Poipoles and the Bulbasaurs early. So having the 3-2 line is reasonable. I think charging up, you only ever really need 1 or 2 in play maximum. So I like having 2 copies, but it's an integral part of the deck still, allowing us to get energy from the discard pile onto this guy. We obviously play Ultra Balls and Viridians to bin off energy. We have lots of ways to find them with 10 physical cards, as well as like Net Balls and Viridians. So we're finding Grass Energy a lot of the time in the deck, and then hopefully charging up and then using that with the Genesect as well. Even when it's not for Genesect, it can be powering up the likes of Flower Storm, so just keeping them on Nagas can also be valuable for you. And at the same time, never forget the Turning Point turn can be another good one-hit KO option, either if we're hitting for weakness on stuff, or if we are hitting other non-GXs, this can take knockouts, so definitely something to bear in mind. From there, we have the 3-0-3 line of Venusaur. Just going to have the 3 candies to try and get into this guy. No copies of Ivysaur whatsoever. But the Jungle Totem is a nice ability, providing 2 Grass Energy for each individual one that you have in play. So, for example, if a Wishful Baton's gone off and we've got like an extra 1 or 2 energy on a Naga and a turn attachment, that 5 energy turns into 10 energy on our board, which makes the Flower Storm insane, and it makes the... It makes the... Whoops, I've done it again. It makes the Gaia Blaster attack stronger. So yeah, pretty good. Jungle Totem is a fantastic ability. 160 hit points means he's rarely just going to be targeted by things as well, which is pretty good for us. He does have a chunky retreat cost, so bear that in mind. But thanks to his own ability, he technically only has a 2 retreat cost. It would still force us, like 2 turns of attachments over time. But even Solar Beam can do 90 damage, which is, pretty vanilla, but something to bear in mind. If he's going to get trapped, we can still just start swinging with him if we really have to. From there, our tech attackers. I mentioned Shaymin a lot. When everything's going to plan, this attack becomes insane and is going to get one-hit KOs. So when Venusaur's online, when Batons have popped, when Nagas are working, this is going to do huge numbers. At the very least, this is a free retreater to give us a nice pivot alongside our Guzmas, so it's never a bad card to see in the deck. We also have 1 copy of Onix. Land Crush is expensive, to say the least, but you can just put him on the bench with no energy sometimes and he becomes a threat, thanks to the Wishful Baton that's in the deck. So if Genesect is up front swinging, we can baton it all onto an Onix if we're up against something like a Zoroark. So sometimes he has to target this guy even when he has no energy attached. And when we have Bulbasaurs on the board, maybe you can just attach 1 Grass Energy to this Onix, and he's again threatening a Land Crush the following turn. So definitely a threatening card, even when he doesn't have much on him. but as soon as he gets rolling, he's going to be taking one-shots on some popular weaknesses in the format right now. Finally, one Tapu Lele-GX. We hate prizing it, obviously, but its ability is amazing for us to get us early, like Lilies or Cynthias and whatnot, as well as, you know, if we are able to hold out to the late game, it can find us Guzmas and whatever else in key turns as well, so definitely something to bear in mind. Onto the item cards, a couple copies of Rescue Stretcher. As I said, these low hit point basics, the Poipole and the Bulba, they're going to get targeted early, especially by the likes of Zapdos players, so recycling those is going to be huge. And, you know, when we're up against other non-GX stuff, recycling Genesect when we have to, recycling Onix against Zoro decks, this is all something we like to do. Onto the ball search cards, we're going to have a split of Nest and Netball. Netball being slightly less versatile in only being able to grab us the Shaymin, Bulbas, and Genesect, but can also get us Grass Energies, which is nice. Nestball being able to get the whole shebang, so it gives us better odds of getting early Poipoles down, which is always great. Couple copies of Pokémon. I think when you play, you know, like 15 plus Pokemon, this card is always a consideration in your deck, especially when you're a stage 2 variant, to try and give us better odds of getting Rare Candy Venusaur, so Pokémon always a nice thing to bear in mind here. 3 copies of Rare Candy to try and get into this stage 2. Obviously, we're not playing Ivysaur, so that's pretty simple. And then we have 4 Ultra Ball, obvious synergy with Binning Energy for charging up, as well as just being powerful search for us in general, especially for early Leles, to give us better supporter odds on those opening turns. A couple of Viridian Forest just makes perfect sense with the synergy here. As we've seen how Malamar likes to play Viridian, we're very similar in that we'll bin off energy just to find more energy a lot of the time, so that we can charge up and still get manual attachments every single turn. Really nice stadium to have. Honestly, I could think about adding in a third. Right now, I've kind of gone towards the netballs to be that pseudo replacement, but still giving us more early Pokemon search, which I really like in the deck. On supporter cards, I've tried to play around with a lot of things. At one point, I had 3 copies of Bills. At the moment, I just have 1 and a couple copies of Erika. I still like the value of this card, especially when you're a stage 2 deck, though. It can find us early ball search cards if we're in panic mode in the opening turns with not much else to do. It can get us into rare candies, which is very beneficial. Even can help find us energy cards with the Viridians or the Netballs as well. So Bill is versatile and strong in here. I feel like he's one of these cards that he'll pop up and be reasonable throughout games. He's an extra supporter card. I think he's stronger than just a 4th Lillie in general. So I've snuck him into the deck. But if you want to just play 4 Lillie, you absolutely can do that. We have a lot of insta-play. We have a lot of discard from Ultra Ball and Forest. So at the moment, I'm trialing out Bill's analysis just for my own experimentation. But I think he's a reasonable card, especially when you're a stage 2 deck. Holding on to like one of the pieces of like Venusaur or a rare candy, then you can build and try and hope to hit the other piece, like an Ultra Ball, a Com, or the rare candy itself, depending on which one you're holding into your hand. I think the Bills is very versatile in this deck. From there, 2 copies of Erika. Obviously very strong when your opponent has got their full setup rolling. We're going to get, again, similar to Bill, if you're holding on to one piece of the puzzle, you can Erika and try and fill up into a big hand size to get both all at once, which is nice. Then we're going to have 3 copies of Guzma for targeting important threats. Obviously, we're trying to hit for weakness on some relevant stuff right now with Grass, Psychic, and Fighting typing available to us. And just in general, getting up trades on the likes of Tapu Lele's the opponent has to put down for us. Then we have 3 Lilies, obviously a good early game supporter card, and reasonable in the mid to late game because we have so much insta-playables and so many binnable cards like Ultra Ball and Viridian can help thin our hand size throughout the game. And then for Cynthia, because Cynthia is just overall very strong and never going to let us down. Then we have 3 Wishful Baton. This is like our last-ditch effort to retain energy on the board. If the Nagas and the Venusaurs aren't going to plan, we at the very least have Batons to fall back on. When our active Pokemon gets knocked out, if this is attached to it, we can move 3 to one of our bench Pokemon, 3 energies, which is going to be huge. It just means we can cycle the Genesects that much easier and build towards big Gaia Blaster knockouts and big Flower Storm knockouts. That's pretty much the play. And it means that we can play this one of Onix in the deck. Even when we just bench him to sit there and be a threat, the Wishful Baton actually makes him, you know, potentially live all in one turn, which is definitely worth noting. From there, 10 Grass Energy. I think with the double Forest and the double Netball, that's going to be plenty to see throughout the game. Obviously, we can double that amount if they're on the board as well with Venusaur, so we can eventually get into big one-shots. So definitely cool options overall. In terms of like item and other trainer cards I would consider, there aren't really all that many. I think I'm pretty reasonably close with all the cards that I'm looking at here. I think Mysterious Treasure is one of the only things you could debatably go for. Maybe reduce the com count to add in treasures, giving you good Lele odds. whilst also helping you find your Nagas. Obviously, it does reduce your chance of getting Venusaur out. That's why we're on the Com train rather than Treasure. I think for Pokemon, there's a couple of tag teams you could consider. Obviously, Celebi and Venusaur is the first one that comes to mind. When your Venusaur Stage 2 is online, this guy becomes very efficient and powerful. We're at the moment without a GX attack option, so something like Evergreen could be pretty cool for late game tanking. Eevee and Snorlax also comes to mind because he's all colorless. He has Megaton Friends, which can draw us into a big hand size. We have no physical draw Pokemon in the deck, so we're very reliant on having these supporter cards. This Eevee and Snorlax could give us an additional way to draw a lot more. And Dump Truck Press, similar to Onix, can just be a nice one-hit KO sort of clean-up style attacker. It feels like everything needs to be going well for these two tag teams to be inserted into the deck, and that's why I don't have them. Genesect being much more easy to power up. Even if you just have one Naga on board, you can just manually attach your way into Gaia Blasters at the very least. So he seems a lot less difficult to manage than the tag teams are. So let's save this up and get into some games, just randomly as well. This is something I'll stream later on tonight, actually. I'm also testing out a pure build with the Venusaur being cut from the list. Just a quick sneak peek on that, because I feel like the Venusaur list is a little bit clunky at times. Obviously, it's more powerful when everything's going for you, but it has more clunky turns. And I think this may be a different direction to take the deck. So that's a quick little freebie as well, and a sneak peek into what I'm going to be streaming tonight over on Twitch. So keep an eye out for that. But for today, we're going to jump into the ladder with the Venusaur build and try and get some wombo combo turns rolling with that jungle totem and get some big knockouts going. I think the biggest downside of the non-Venusaur list is that you're much weaker to muck because your energy reload is much more important because you don't have jungle totem to fulfill your attack cost all the time. You need to physically have 3 grass energy on Genesect every turn. So muck is much more annoying for you. And of course, Venusaur just reaches bigger numbers quicker as long as you get him into play. So looks like we're going to be in our first game here, going second. We always like to go first when you're in an evolution deck, but we'll deal with it. We get to show our opponent exactly what we're all about here with a Venusaur Baton in our opening mulligan. And it looks like we start with a pretty strong start here. We have Nest, Net, Com. Start with Bulba and Genesect. This is looking pretty fun. We're going to see a Tapu Koko start from our opponent. They're going to go Mysterious Treasure. Looks like we're up against a Malamar deck. Malamar is one of these decks where we're going to try and keep toe-to-toe with them for the most part. And maybe get some uptrades on their Ultra or their Lele, depending on if they need to put that into play. So far, it's a pretty nice treasure turn 1. Been a Psychic, find a Inkay, DC to Koko. So they're a DCE-based build. Interesting. They're just going to fire off a Cynthia, also get an Inkay down. 3 Inkay, that's a really strong turn 1. We don't know just yet if they're a spread Mali, or they just play the tech Koko and like DCEs for Onyxes or whatever. Right now though, we're still very much setup based, so we need to still get a Poipole down no matter what. We have prized 2 of our Venusaurs. Lele's in deck, always good to know. We've prized 1 of our Nags as well. So 3 big Pokemon in our prize cards. Prized 1 energy. One Guzma's in our hand. Okay. We can live with this. I think I want to just guarantee a grass energy here. And we're going to Pokecom this away. Let's get this, just in case we get Baton. Venusaur is actually a pretty good attacker in this matchup. It can knock out Malamars and it's out of range of Tina's, so that's something to bear in mind. If he is spread-based, I really don't want to put down this other Poipole, especially when we only have 1 Naga available. So let's send it to our opponent from here. Our hand doesn't take us very far. We have a build to try and find our 1 Naga, like ball search for the Naga next turn. That's pretty much all we're looking at. They again have another ideal treasure, getting rid of Giratina this time for a Mally. So far, only one Psyche in the discard pile is the only real good news for us. Would be a little awkward if they do get a Giratina rolling this turn. They need to find an extra energy for turn and another energy in the bin, plus a Malamar. Not unheard of, though, especially when they get an attachment in now. And Cynthia, any like Ultra Ball or Viridian Forest plus Malamar could get them there at this point. There's Malamar number 2. Can they get a Psychic in the bin? They've got it all. That's the Ultra Ball. Pretty ideal turn 2 for them. Ideal turn 1, ideal turn 2. Looks pretty good. We had the potential to reload onto our bench Genesect if we wanted to. Try and protect him. I was thinking it was going to take a lot for him to get a Giratina going, but hey. We're going to get hit for a knockout here with Shadow Impact. He's actually putting the damage on himself, which makes it easier for the Genesect to take a knockout on him, which is pretty good for us. He could have put it on any of these. You find a Pokecon, which is pretty huge. I'm still going to build first. We definitely want this. I think it's just these. We can't get an attack this turn. Missed out on the correct ball search. I think we actually just get this. Let's grab that Venusaur. Get a Genesect. I think we'll just attach to the bench and pass. A little bit slow from us. Like I said, their turn 2 was the cold hard nuts, though. Combat potential with this deck is low unless they put down GXs, basically. If he just can continue a Giratina train, it's going to be very hard for us to win. Now he's going to continue to knock himself out. We'll go Genesect. Try and find ourselves a Nag here. If we don't, we're pretty much toast. Remember, we did prize one. We were fortunate enough to find one, though. We'll evolve the damage guy. We'll charge up. We will reload. And we'll take a response knockout. It does seem all a little too late, though. We need to try and disrupt some of this Malamar play. To try and make Venusaur take a knockout somehow. The thing is, we're not going to have a free turn to attach to a Venusaur at this point in the game. He's just going to keep cycling this Tina. And life's going to get tricky for us. That's one of the problems of dealing with Malamar. Obviously one of those things where they went first, got 3 in K, on turn 2 got Tina turn 2, while starting a Coco as well. Like, I couldn't actually imagine a better setup for a Malamar ever against this, to be honest. So what are you gonna do? Take an Ultra Ball. Play double Coco. Maybe they are just a Shrine build. Or Spell Tag. They could be a Spell Tag Mally as well. They're going to grab a Marshadow. Refresh both our hands. They're going to go back into their Tina and just take the knockout. And I can't see much that can help us here. We can draw a lot of cards off this Erika at least. Can't see what we can do with it, but yeah, we're just done here. I needed to Ultra Ball last turn pre-let loose. I realized like as soon as I didn't do it, as soon as I attacked without doing the Ultra Ball, but I need to get another Pokemon down that turn so I could still charge up because we only had one Naga in deck. I think we were always like super behind though, no matter what. So let's find another game. We're up against a full grass deck. Is this going to be a Venusaur? Venusaur's kind of a difficult matchup. We don't have many switching cards. Genesect is a 2 retreat cost. So we don't appreciate getting hit with status conditions. We do get to go first at the very least. Maybe get the benefit of a few mulligans. Venusaur is where Erika looks pretty bad though. They pretty much only put down Venusaurs early. Very rare that they'll have 2 basic Pokemon in their opening hand. We'll take the benefit of a mulligan though. And yep, Celebi-Venusaur in action. By the looks of things, let's go energy for energy. Put down this, put down this, put down this. We'll just pass. I'm not going to Erika for 1. We'll try and Erika for like 2 or 3 next turn. No Poipole turn 1 means we can't get a Gaia Blast turn 2. We see Netball for Shaymin. Order Pad, Poggers. Flips Tails, but we do see a Cynthia. Another Netball. This Erika's going to get some value somewhere then. Which is good news. Oh, we can do Cynthia now. Very good. I'm going to still go for grass. Just Cynthia. Throwing back into Onix isn't the best, but we can grab ourselves a Genesect here for this baton that we're holding on to. We've drawn into a fairly dead hand, which is a bit of a yikes. Our opponent gets themselves DCU turn 2, which is also a yikes, because we're going to get hit with a bunch of status conditions. We do get hit with a Judge though, which I appreciate. See a Nest Ball. Shaymin number 3 comes down. So now we only need to knock out 1 big Celebi-Venusaur only. That's if we keep all 3 of our Guzmas. And I was thinking about Ultra Balling away this Guzma. There's the buff padding. Pollen Hazard coming in. Really awkward attack for this deck to deal with. Yeah, we can't afford to. Have I priced any Guzmas? No. That's Lillie here. No rare candy. We'll just do this for now. We're going to see Nest Ball for Shaymin number 4. Haven't even attacked him yet. Looks like they're at a dead hand as well, though. They just forested energy for energy. That's our textbook play. We have to Lele here, and I'm just thinking, do I have to get rid of two Guzmas? Getting rid of one Guzma is basically the same as getting rid of two, because as soon as we get rid of one, we know that we can't deal with any of these Shaymins, so I'm just going to bin both. I think we still grab the Cynthia here, even though it's one extra card, it's one extra card. One is enough when we're trying to do a lot of stuff, like get rare candies. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 24, 29. Huh. Okay, they drew into a Crushing Hammer, or took a prize on a Crushing Hammer, one of the two. Let's see what else they have in store. Energy for energy, the forest. And just a solar beam. I think now we're going to go in Genesect number 1. Put some pressure on. Charging up's always happening. Can we take a knockout? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 29 is what we can hit as our top. Unless we get a Shaymin, which could be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 2, 10, 2, 40. Yeah, so I'm not going to attach just in case we hit Candy, Saw, Shaymin. She's asking for a lot, but still. We're going to grab the Shaymin here. Just to start threatening it. They're unlikely to have the Guzma. Right. He says, very scared. We have bills for next turn to hopefully find a rare candy as well. Maybe we can break down this big wall. We only did 30 damage this turn though. Crushing Hammer. Gets Tails. They're going to bin an Enhanced Hammer for another energy by the looks of things. They're all in on this one Venusaur. They're going to go for a Guzma play. Wow, he didn't Guzma the Shaymin. Holy. That is some real stones right there, my friend. You should have killed this. He healed as well. What the? What the? Please, Bill, don't let us down. Oh, Erika as well. So currently it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 210, 240, 270. If we get the jungle totem rolling. Please, rare candy. How many do we have in here? 3. Let's go. No! Oh. Why? Why you do this? The betrayal. The betrayal. Do we have all 3 in here? Oh, we prized 2? Okay, that's allowed then. We're allowed to miss. I was gonna say, holy woot. Is there any point in getting another one? I guess we do, just in case he has another random Guzma. Let's hit this guy for 30 again. Oh, feels bad, man. Prize 2. Prize 2, though. Come on. I'm gonna see a Gladion. Hopefully it doesn't change much. Gladion isn't a Guzma, so this is safe. It's alive and well. Speaking of alive and well, this Venusaur has done a lot of work so far. Crushing Hammer. He's been pretty unlucky with those, to be fair. And we see the big solar beam. Let's stack up a Bulba. We genuinely can still win this game. Bin this. I didn't realize our 10th one was prized. I was trying to just thin the deck for the Erika. 5 cards for rare candy. Let's go. Oh, there it is. Swooping energy over here. Real quick. Let's swing for an unholy amount of damage. And mount a comeback. Let's go. If we see a Venusaur come down, we can kill it pretty quickly with our last Guzma and win. Well, they just flip tails on a pad and we win. Okay. Huh. We clutched a Venusaur. Clutched it to the death. Obviously, they were drawing dead. But they also put a lot of dead cards back into their own deck with their own GX attacks, so do I feel bad for them? Not as bad as I could feel for them, to be honest. I could feel worse right now. Especially because we had that terrible prizing turn. Also, he definitely disrespected the Shaymin. That's just pure disrespect with his Guzma. I was like, he needs to draw exactly Guzma for turn for this to be a bad play. But he did and then missed the... He just hit the wrong guy. Let's have one last game. Pokemon's a lot of fun. Even those Crushing Hammers could have beetled us at the end there. The prized grass. We get a Mull. $540 damage from that Shaymin though. Feels good, man. Okay, we have double Genesect start. Couple supporters. No energy so far, and no Pokemon search is a little bit awkward. Looks like we're up against a Lucario Lycanroc. Lucario needs this Diancie a lot, so we're going to try and deal with this. Both of these attackers need the Diancie a lot in this matchup to one-shot us. If we can deal with this, we're going to be chilling, I feel. This is going on the back, and we're gonna control 5 with the Erika. It just makes our Lillie much worse. I think we really want to develop basics, and we're able to do that. I think we're gonna Ultra Ball away a Grass and a Guzma here. Potentially Grass and Bill. Yeah, Grass and Bill. We'll just grab a Poipole. Batoning a single Grass energy. Okay. Sure. We'll get it attached early. We see an Ultra Ball, getting rid of 2 fighting energies for that Lucario. He's going to evolve up. And just straight up Aura Strike for a knockout. Ooh, Nest Ball's a nice pickup. We can grab another Poipole. Stretcher back a Genesect. This feels like it should be a pretty reasonable matchup for us. We can Candy Saw. We can also go ahead and grab a Nag. This has worked out very well. We're going to reload to the active, just because that's where the baton is. So we have the option of swinging. It's very bad against a Acerola. I think we just pass. See another attachment on the Lucario, trying to build towards a Cyclone Kick. Brooklet Hill comes down, Let Loose. Don't mind that at all. We had a wacky play where I could have energy reloaded here just to retreat for the Guzma, and then charging up and reloaded back to this guy to knock out the Diancie. Would have been pretty wacky, but we don't have to go down that really convoluted line anymore. Counter gain on the Rockruff and just an Aura Strike for 50. Viridian seems very, very good for us. No energy in the discard pile just yet, so I'll search after the Erika, because I could bin a grass for a grass. And that would be excellent. That's exactly what we can do. Let's do that first. I like having the backup Venusaur. I think it's pretty good for us. At the moment, we only need one Naga. And we're holding on to Stretcher anyway, so we're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 2, 10. Seems good. Reload. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah. Perfection. Feels like with this setup, things are going to get pretty rough for our opponent. They can Sledgehammer this turn if they want to. But we have Baton and Guzma if we want to deal with any GX that comes down as well. Even just dealing with Diancie is going to be, like I said, very annoying for him because of Genesect's hit points. We could even use a Venusaur to take a knockout on the Diancie and really put him in bad shape. If we wanted to Baton onto that guy, we could energy reload to the bench Genesect, attach a Genesect, charge up. All that sort of stuff would be pretty powerful for us. Choice span to the buzz, sure. That's fine. We see a forest getting rid of Kukui for that fighting energy. They're going to replace the stadium after the fact. And then Lillie for 4 cards. Feels like this should be a heavily favourable matchup though, just by the look, just looking at like what his deck tries to do compared to ours. We are going to see that Sledgehammer. I think actually going for the Venusaur play is correct here. Makes life very difficult for him. We can reload, we can charge up. Attach. And we'll just Solar Beam. So the only thing that can take a knockout is the Lycanroc. It's weak to grass and we're already threatening too many problems for him right now. Too many chunky grass dudes in his way. If we have to, next turn we can pay retreat if he just evolves into another Lucario. They're going to Brookcloud another Riolu. They are indeed going to evolve, and Cynthia. 5 energy gone already. There's no guarantees they'll hit it. Regardless, they can't take a knockout. Yeah, just a pass. And a scoop. That turn we could have paid retreat, charging up detached, taking a knockout with Genesect, stretched back a Genesect, then Cynthia anyway, so would have been pretty insane. So that's a few fun games with Venusaur Genesect. I think the jury's still out on the deck. We had a pretty bad brick game where everything went south. But we were able to beat a couple of slower setups. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the 60 cards. We didn't get to see Onix in action at all. He's obviously here for some more popular decks that we didn't quite face on the ladder. But there we are. Things were powerful when it was all rolling, and it was a lot of fun to play. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll hear about it all down below. Later on today, actually, I'm going to do a Pikarom deck as well, so keep an eye out for that, because this was meant to go up yesterday, but I had some sound issues. So thank you for your patience, and there'll be a Pikarom later today. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you then. Cheers.